Every year in the NFL, it's a new team. As far as goals go, we have one. Putting a f***ing ring on our finger.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Bay.
Today is December 10th, 2021.
Good job, Ralph. Did you have to practice that ahead
Yes,
of
we
time?
did. Had to practice. What did I start off with? August or something?
October?
Yeah, it was like October. Yes, it is December 10th. We are 2 days away from a very big game.
Woo!
Yes, the Buffalo Bills are coming into town. They're riding out, worn out and wet. That's what's going to happen to them. We're going to give our predictions about this game later. We're going to talk about all the news Molly has gathered in preparation for this game. We also we're going to cover the all 22 of the Atlanta Falcons real quick. Now, Molly told me to keep an eye on the clock because I have a tendency to run my mouth. And I
would never say that about you.
And we have to squeeze both of them in for this podcast.
Against my better judgment, I tried to do too, guys.
Well, I got a Tiffy video out finally, and I was like, okay, I want it to sit for a day before we put anything out, just so I can see.
Let it simmer.
Yeah, see what kind of views we can get on it. I haven't even looked though to see.
I haven't either. We got a few comments though. People were happy about them being back. So,
good.
If you guys missed the Tiffy video, it's up on YouTube.
Yeah, it's an expanded version or a long version. Just put the whole thing up.
It's the Ralph Phillips cut. It's 4 hours long.
The Zack Snyder cut. It always amazes me. Every time I do these things, I'm like, man, I don't know if I've got enough here. And I put the clips together and it's like 30 minutes. I'm trying to go for 10. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to cut out. It's all good. Screw it. I'm just going to put. And then, I got to where I was putting up 10-minute videos. And I'm going to start going back to that format. This week, I've got everything set up for that now. Finally. It only took me, 3/4 of the season?
This season is almost over.
No.
I thought that the Tiffies have been retired.
Yeah. We got them. We got this, man.
Good job, Ralph. I believe in you.
All right. You got any news to cover?
I sure do.
All right.
Okay.
What you got?
Okay. Let's see. We activated long snapper Zach Triner from the COVID reserve list, which that was like a whole thing this week because, he had been on IR because of the finger injury. He came back. And so we cut Carson Tinker when he came back. Carson Tinker signed with the Raiders. Well, then Zach Triner, he plays one game, then he gets COVID. And you're like, come on, dude. So we were like, what are we going to do? Because the Raiders have Carson Tinker. And so we signed Garrison Sanborn, who was our long snapper. Was he a long snapper? I can't remember. Wasn't he on the practice squad?
I have no idea.
I forget. His name is familiar. I can't remember.
Every time you say Tinker and Triner, though, I think of that movie, Taylor, what was it? Taylor, Tinker, Soldier, Spy.
Yeah.
Tinker, Triner, Brady, Gronk. 4 most important players on our team. Long snappers, man,
I know.
So valuable.
I know. Well, it was a big to-do. Like, what the heck was going to happen? Because Carson Tinker... Well, the Raiders only brought him in because their long snapper had COVID. And so we kind of expected them to maybe cut Carson Tinker and then we'd pick him back up. But anyway, it's all null and void because Zach Triner's back, baby. No issues. So we got a long snapper. Ryan Jensen has had an ankle injury all week and he did not practice 2 days. And so that was a little scary, but he came back today, Friday. So he looks fine and he has not been ruled out on the injury report. So that looks good.
Questionable or got a designation?
Yeah, I'm sure he's got a designation. Probably questionable, but and let me see. Oh, I did save the injury report. Saved it twice. Yeah, okay, he's questionable. So he'll play, I'm sure. And let me see. Oh, so we activated Richard Sherman off of IR. And he's going to play.
Is he going to be that hybrid role they were talking about? We don't know yet.
I don't know. And we never did talk about this, did we?
On the podcast, yeah. I think we did Monday.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Pretty sure. Anyhow, we can recap it real quick. They're talking
we
about,
did talk about it.
Yeah, they're talking about putting Richard Sherman in a safety role.
Yeah. So I think that is just they're training him to play safety in case they need him. Is what they're doing. So I don't think he's necessarily going to play safety often, but he'll have the capacity to do it if they need him.
Works for me.
I agree. We're going to talk about some awards, and then we'll talk about some NFC South news. So Levante David was nominated for the 2021 Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award.
Really?
He was, and I'm pretty sure he got that last year.
I have no idea what award that is, but we keep winning awards every week, don't we?
I think we say that every year.
Yeah.
Well, I think every team
we
has
did
a
like
nominee.
We looked it up and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And
Have to go back in your notes. So anyway, congratulations to Levante. And then Tom Brady won you can hear that. That is Ralph's water bottle, guys. His little straw. Okay.
I'm thirsty.
That's fine. Turn off your mic.
I was doing it right on the microphone too.
Tom Brady won Sports Illustrated's 2021 Sports Person of the Year. So,
Hey, you know who won Tom's Sports Person of the Year?
Sports Illustrated?
No, Time.
Oh, who?
Simone Biles.
Oh,
Can you believe that? I mean, not to go off on a tangent here, but didn't she quit?
yeah.
I mean, that's like the opposite of sports.
Yeah, that's not what sports are about.
It shouldn't be, anyhow, but that's the new thing, I guess.
guess.
America's number one in quitting. Woohoo.
Anyway, Tom Brady didn't quit, and he won the Sports Illustrated Sports Person of the Year.
How do you have somebody like Tom Brady who's alive, who we're all, for the rest of our lives, we're going to be able to say, not only did we watch Tom Brady, but he was on our team. He's probably the greatest athlete that's ever lived when you look at the actual like data, the stats. I mean, he went 7 Super Bowls. Who does that? Most franchises don't even have 7 Super Bowls. I don't think any franchise has 7 Super Bowls. We have the quarterback. Anyhow, you got this guy. He's alive. He's doing well. He's kicking butt. He's leading the MVP. I think he's much better qualified as a Time Athlete of the Year than somebody who quits. I don't know. It's just me. That's weird about us sports people.
I know.
Us sports fans. We often disagree with those who like to tell us what we're supposed to think.
It's just like movie award shows.
Oh, God, yeah.
They're so awful.
The Oscars?
Yeah.
Absolutely vomitous.
Well, and like, I don't know, music too. I feel the same way.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's the haves telling us have-nots what
good.
what we should be,
right?
You know, seeing as
the
art
people
or
with
entertainment.
taste.
Yeah.
Telling all of us with no taste what we should like. New England Patriots have the most Super Bowl wins with 6. So you are correct.
All by Tom Brady.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Right?
Nuts.
Well, don't the Steelers have 6?
I think they had 5.
Oh, okay. Dang. Man, that's amazing. And he might get, he's probably going to get another one this year. He'll get 8. How is he not on the cover of every magazine, everywhere?
All the time.
All the time.
I know, it's just
Plus, he's good looking and he's got a model wife.
Yeah.
He should be on everywhere you go. You should see Tom Brady and his family displayed somewhere.
That's true.
It should be like the goal for every American is to be like Tom Brady and his family.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Why wouldn't you? Mike Evans got nominated by the team for the Walter Payton Man of the Year. So he is our nominee.
Now every team gets to nominate one Walter Payton Man of the Year. Let me see. Normally it was Vincent Jackson
always got it.
Always nominated. And then after him, it was Clinton McDonald.
Okay.
And then I think it's been Mike Evans ever since. But only one out of the 32 teams, one player gets picked. And I don't think Buccaneers has ever been picked. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, that'll be good for a fact check.
Not since I've been a fan. Okay, you got any more Bucs news?
No.
Okay. Do you have any news?
I'm totally unprepared for this.
I know. Ralph has been diligently working. He had a 12-hour day working on the Tiffy video.
Yeah, you know.
What was that, Tuesday? Yeah. And then Wednesday, you spent the whole day trying to get it out again.
Yep. Get the video out. Well, I did the All 22 Tuesday, which on our podcast, I said I was going to wake up early and I was going to get the dang thing done. And you were like, oh, well, let everybody. Did you tweet it out?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. I was getting ready to shoot you out, man.
Mad at me.
So, yeah. So, let me see. Yesterday, I got the video up.
Thursday, yeah.
Yes. So, today, I've just kind of taken the day off and that.
You deserve it.
Yeah.
Good job, Ralph.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have some NFC South news that we did not actually talk about. The Panthers fired their offensive coordinator, Joe Brady, but that was last weekend. That was so weird to me. Like, they had a bye, and they fired him in the middle of the bye week. Like, why would you do that? They fired him, like, on the Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know, it's a mess over there. They brought Cam Newton back. You know, they're desperate. You know,
well, and that didn't solve their problems, which I don't know who thought that was going to fix their problems.
Yeah, well, you know, getting Darnold, you know, was just, I mean, you got, I don't know, too many college coaches over there or something. I don't, you know, I get weirded out, you know, stuff like that. It was kind of like when Bill Belichick got Cam Newton. I was like, he's got to watch game film, or you know, or at least broadcast versions of the game. Does he think he can really remold Cam Newton into a pocket passer, or you know, because I don't know. But you see it all over the league all the time. You're like, what are they doing here? You know, when the Panthers got Darnold, I think we did a whole podcast on it. I was like, yeah, this guy sucks, and you know, they're not going to go far with him. And sure enough, they didn't. And you're just like, what is it that they're seeing? I don't know.
I think it's just desperation.
You think so?
Just doing what they can.
It's just there's so few good quarterbacks out there, I guess. But it's not just the quarterback position.
No, I don't think it's that. I think it's very hard to build an NFL roster.
Very hard.
And especially when you're a college. I mean, first of all, when you wreck a front office and a coaching staff, you know, you're bringing people in. It's really hard to build kind of that cohesion and the culture and get the roster you want. And it takes time, but it's also very difficult to do. Yeah. And so I think a lot of NFL coaches are just put in an impossible situation. I think it just happens. And
then when they get these guys from college, you know, a lot of times they bring up their college buddies you know, because it's who they've worked with, who they know. And I
think that's what Joe Brady was. I think he worked with Matt Rule at Baylor.
I think most of Matt Rule's coaching staff is college. The same with Urban Meyer and Jacksonville. Like all his coaching staff, I don't think he has a single NFL coach on his staff.
To be fair, though, BA has all his coaching staff from over the years, from college.
From 50 years ago. Yeah. And remember, Schiano kind of did that too, but he also brought in some NFL guys. So he wasn't totally horrible in that aspect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just, I don't know, it's just weird to me. It's the same thing with how, you know, coaches will hold on to players when, you know, you look at them on tape or whatever and you go, yeah, that guy's just not really that good, or he's not worth all that. And it's just got to be, there's got to be other stuff to it, you know, like they practice well. That's what I always hear, you know, oh, they're very coachable or whatever. And that doesn't mean, I don't care if they're coachable. You know, they might be the best practicer on the planet, but if they get out there on the field and they can't do anything.
Right.
You know, and you get that a lot with these guys. You know, you'll have guys who can't make teams, but then they get out on the field and they make play after play after play. Mm-hmm. And then they get it cut and they go somewhere else and they make play after play after play. And then they get cut and they go. It's just weird. Mm-hmm. It's weird. You know, it's like with all professions, there's a there's a peer mentality that infects everything, and they're worried about things that as fans and outsiders we don't see
care about
or worry about. Yeah. So I don't know. I found it very strange too. What were we watching? We were watching one of the games and it just popped up. We were like,
it was on the ticker. Yeah. Breaking news.
It's good stuff. I love hearing crap like that. Anything bad. And
in fact, for us to clinch the division, they need to lose to the Falcons this weekend.
So if they lose to if the Panthers lose to the Falcons, which I think they will, then that means we clinch the division.
There's a couple other things that need to happen, which we'll talk about in the preview.
Okay, well, that's exciting.
Three games that are important for us.
All right,
including our own game. So 2 other games. Okay, let's finish with the NFC South, and then we will move on to the preview.
Did you mention that Jordan Whitehead's out?
We haven't even gotten to the game preview, Ralph.
Okay.
We got this.
Okay.
We got this. We got this. Okay. I'm prepared. I got it. The Deontay Harris with the Saints has been suspended for the next 3 weeks of the NFL's regular season for that DUI.
A DUI.
So I had talked about that a few episodes ago. So he lost his appeal. He's suspended, and so it'll be this week. They play. Who do they play? The Jets. They play the Jets.
I know. I had to pick them in my pick 'em.
Ugh. Did you throw up in your mouth a little?
Yeah.
Like, ew. So, yeah.
But it's at the Jets, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a chance they lose that. Mm-hmm. I was real weary about it, but there wasn't a whole lot of other games that I was positive on. I always pick against the Jets and the Jaguars. And the Texans.
Yeah.
If you, but I think it's something like the Jaguars are playing the Texans or something this week. So going there.
That's an impossible. So when we face the Saints, I guess next week, is that when we play them? Yeah. Yes. Oh, on Sunday Night Football, they will be without Deontay Harris, which he's the one that scares me the most on that team.
Mm-hmm.
We have trouble with him. He's so fast. Shifty. So that is the conclusion of the news. I hope you could keep your shirt on for that whole ordeal, Ralph.
It's exciting.
I know. You ready? Do the...
Yeah, we'll just go over the all 22 real quick. Don't want to linger on it too long, so I don't want Molly to get mad at me.
I would never.
Now, this is weird because, I spent all day Tuesday doing it, and here it is Friday, and I can't remember hardly anything from it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's very strange. Football's weird like that.
Yeah.
You get so much of it, and then plus watching that game last night, well, that was exciting. Turned that into a barn burner there at the end.
Oh, my gosh. Pittsburgh looks so bad.
Oh, they did.
They look terrible. They couldn't do nothing with Dalvin Cook. Nothing. It was like a wet paper bag. That was like a college offensive line right there.
And yeah, they were just getting beat left and right, back and forward. But then they come out in the second half and started whooping up on them. I mean, they scored like 28 points in 5 minutes.
That's so crazy. And I had gone to bed, so all I saw was Pittsburgh looking terrible.
Mm-hmm.
God, the number of times that Ben got just absolutely clobbered.
Well, they were having a horrible time getting the snaps off and communication, and there's some serious dysfunction on that team. The guy, God, what's his name? Chase Claypool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was having it.
Oh, I saw the clips on Twitter today
of
him celebrating and burning all that time.
Oh, yeah, and the center ran over and grabbed the ball out of his hand, and they ended up getting into it after the play. Claypool ran over to him and started yelling at him.
He deserved
to
get chewed out for that. What are you doing, idiot?
Yeah. And he's lucky he didn't get a penalty called on him because when they lined up, he was like standing sideways almost. He wasn't really facing, he was kind of Like he was being real. He was staring at the center. That's the guy that came over and grabbed the ball out of him.
Like, how old are you?
In his defense, he is pretty young, probably.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the Steelers. Anyhow, it was good. It was a good game. So I'm already on to week 13 now, or week 14. What is this? 14?
Who knows? It's a vortex. I just we're in a time vortex.
This is week 14.
I can't keep up with it. Yeah, after about week, I guess when they get into the double digits, I really lose track.
Yeah, it's hard to remember back on stuff. So here it is, 3 days later, and I can't remember the 12 hours I put in.
You should have watched the Tippy video in preparation.
Well, I'll say this. Atlanta's offensive line was a little bit better than I expected. They got this guy, McGary, 76. He put a whooping on Shaq Barrett. I have never seen that. In all the film I've watched of Barrett at Denver and all that I've watched since he's been here, there's maybe a handful of times where he gets whooped, But that McGary had his number, and I mean, he pancaked him a couple times. It was bad. Was it
a size mismatch or?
Oh, Barrett's a pretty small guy compared to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, did the?
No, it was a technique thing. The guy was just catching Barrett, ways he wasn't expecting. He tossed him one time, just threw him to the ground. I mean, I ain't never seen that. So that was quite impressive. Gholston 92 did beat McGary one time though, so bull rushed him, pushed him back into the Matt Ryan. So their offensive line not that great, but a lot better than I expected. Our offensive line was great. Donovan Smith had a great day. He was beating the crap out of Fowler all day long, and I showed it in the Tiffy video, but he was getting hands to the face to Fowler a lot. I mean, I counted like 4 or 5 times he could have been called for it. One time he actually got his finger stuck in his face mask.
Oh, no. That's always a given, too.
Yeah. I don't know how they didn't call it.
You get caught with your hand in the honey pot.
Yeah, the cookie jar. But he twisted Fowler's head all the way around.
Ooh.
It was a dangerous one, too. So,
damn.
That was one of those where it should have been called just because of the danger factor. Penalty-wise, the ref crew didn't do too bad when we talked about that after the game. I said I didn't see anything too egregious, but I will say this. There was a block in the back on the big run that Cordell Patterson had. Mm-hmm. But it was towards the end of the run, and it didn't affect the play whatsoever. It was on Carlton Davis. He might have got in on the tackle, but Barrett was coming up behind him anyhow. But it should have been blown. It was a block in the back, and it should have been called. The run should have been called back, but it wasn't. Mm-hmm. I don't get mad at stuff like that because it didn't affect the play.
Right.
But I will say this, and this is going to go into our preview too. JPP is becoming a liability. Almost every run that they got on us that was big, they ran at JPP, and he just got pushed out of the way. He had no ability to contain at all. That big one there, the Cordell Patterson, JPP got blocked by a small wide receiver, number 17.
No.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say tight end, and I was like, ooh.
No.
That's even worse.
Olamide Zacchaeus, you ever heard of him? I'd never heard of him before. Yeah, but he down blocked on JPP, just pushed him right out of the way. And, I mean, you could say he's just a little dude. When he come up to, like, JPP's armpit, yeah. And he just pushed him right out of the way. I mean, God, I love JPP. He's got a heart of iron, balls of steel, whatever you want to say. Hey, look at my shirt. It finally did it.
He's wearing a green shirt in front of his green screen, and we were like...
I'm trying to stay in. We actually don't know how this is not working.
I know.
It's magic. But JPP he's just not doing anything out there. I mean, nothing. And before I said he was a body. Now I'm to the point where he's a liability. And we can't have that with Josh Allen. Josh Allen's going to be running, and we have got to contain him. And JPP just can't do it. He can't do it. So that's a little concerning. Donovan Smith last week had probably the best game of his career. And I was really excited to see what he'd come out and did this week. And he started off the first half, man, he was just killing it. I mean, he was pancaking guys left and right and throwing them to the ground. I mean, it was great. Fowler and 92, I can't remember his name. But it was great. It was great. But then towards the end of the game, he was tired. He kind of reverted back to old Donovan Smith. He got beat once for a tackle for a loss and then started getting where he was blocking people and then just falling down and resting on the field. So he could get a little nap and cat nap. Yeah. But he wasn't like letting people go by and turning around and watching the play like he used to do. So.
I've always said he was worth every penny.
Yeah, you've always been a Donovan Smith fan. I've
always been a Donovan Smith fan.
Let me see. The second quarter, let's see, they had 8 plays in our red zone with 4 of them from the 1 yard line, and they only got a field goal. That was impressive on our defense.
Losers.
Carlton Davis was killing it. He was out there batting balls.
He's rested.
Yeah. But I wish we would have ran more man coverage. I think we were doing that soft zone just because of all the injuries and stuff like that. And we didn't have enough confidence in some of the newer guys to run man. But I figured with Carlton Davis back and SMB back that we'd run more man. But yeah, we didn't. We stuck to that zone. Not near as soft, but it was, some coverage is just boring. But Carlton Davidson played great. Jamel Dean did great.
When he was in, right?
When he was in, yeah. Let me see. Brady played great. He was making great decisions, pinpoint passes, nice. He got hit one time. Kappa got beat by Brady Jarrett, of course. And
who?
Grady Jarrett. What did I say? Brady.
I thought. Well, I wanted you to say it again because I was like, wait, did he just say Brady Jarrett?
And he got a hit on Tom Brady, but other than that, they didn't even get close. So that was fun. Jensen clobbered somebody. I can't remember who it was. 95. He was locked up with Kappa. Jensen was helping Marpet. And as soon as the ball snapped, Jensen goes to help Marpet, but he looked over at the 95, and you could just see he wanted to get him. He wanted to get him.
He had a grudge against that guy.
And so as soon as he saw the ball go past him, he knew the play was kind of over. He released his guy and then went over and slammed him. I thought he originally got him in the ribs, but he didn't. He got him in the back, which I was kind of like, that's not too good. It's not a good look for you, Jensen. But yeah, he put him on the ground with that. Bam. Now, our defensive line, they played well, and we got a lot of pressure on Ryan. We were hitting him and all that good stuff.
Yeah, 5 sacks.
Yeah, but it didn't look as dominant,
on the game
on film. Yeah, I mean, we were beating their offensive linemen and all that good stuff, but it just didn't seem like we were as impressive as I remembered on the broadcast. But yeah, by the end of the game, fourth quarter, both teams looked exhausted. Atlanta was their defense was. I mean, there were guys laying on the field after plays. Just you could see they were just resting. So they'd be on all fours or whatever, and just like,
dang.
Oh gosh, yeah, they were tired. Our guys were tired too. It was a pretty physical game. Surprisingly.
Good. We did a walkthrough on Wednesday. We didn't do regular practice, so. And I think that's unusual. I don't think we normally do that. So I wonder if everyone was kind of hurting.
Huh. Yeah, that's about it. There was a penalty, a horse collar penalty on Fournette. Fowler beat Donovan and came up and horse collared Fournette on the back, and he ended up rolling up on Fournette's leg, the back of his legs. It's the whole reason why they, because it's a dangerous tackle, And I was like, whoa, that looked really painful. But he also rolled up on Gronkowski's ankle, and you could see it bend. And I was like, ooh, that had to have hurt. But, he's not on the injury report or anything.
Yeah.
He's doing that pliability stuff that Brady does.
He's getting those Brady massages.
But he, but it looked almost like an intentional injury attempt by Fowler. Because he grabbed him by the horse collar and jumped up. It took all of his weight off the ground to pull Fournette down. It just almost like a dirty tackle. Mm-hmm. So,
like intentional.
Yeah, I got the impression that these two teams don't like each other a whole lot. Not a whole lot of friends.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
I don't want them being friends.
Yes. Okay, let me see. Let me go through my notes real quick. You're
doing great on time. So.
Make sure. Yeah, we're halfway through. We're at 31 minutes. We got 5 sacks, right? Mm-hmm. But there was twice they fumbled the ball on the snap. Matt Ryan recovered it, and we touched him down. I want to know why that's not considered a sack. And I'm like, normally...
Is it considered a tackle?
But, I mean, it would kind of make sense if you did that, but I swear that normally that's considered a sack. And if it's considered a tackle because, okay, you say that he's a runner and it's considered a tackle, what happens if, say, the ball is snapped badly and he's in shotgun or something like that, he bends down, he picks it up, and then he gets tackled? Is that not considered a sack? If he was in the shotgun position and it happened, both times he was under center when this happened.
No, I think that's just a tackle.
Normally it's a sack. It should have been. Anyhow, so we should have had 7 sacks. We tackled Matt Ryan behind the line of scrimmage 7 times. Let's put it that way. So
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. And
they were extremely lucky. 4 times they fumbled the ball and recovered the fumble themselves. It never happens.
Yeah. That's crazy that you have a game with 4 fumbles. I don't know. And just...
Yet they had a return one time, and the guy, it was Stewart, Mr. Irrelevant, he knocked the ball out on the tackle. There were 5 Buccaneers there in the pile, 1 Atlanta Falcon guy, and he somehow got that ball back. I don't know. I mean, how does that even happen?
That's ridiculous.
Yes. And then the one with Patterson, Matt Ryan tosses him the ball. He's running. He gets the ball tossed to him. It bounces out of his hands, hits the ground as he's running, and bounces right back up into his hands. I mean, you're like, come on, dude. That never, ever happens.
And that wasn't an incomplete pass?
No, it was a toss, I think.
Oh.
Might have even been a handoff stretch or something.
Yeah.
But anyhow.
What are the odds?
Very, very slim that you're going to get 4 fumble recoveries, and 2 of them are extremely lucky. The ball just bounced their way in some spots. So, it is what it is. We won. It should have been a larger Marjorie victory, but
you're just saying that because of your score prediction.
Like with the Colts.
Yeah.
Like we should have had more points.
Yeah.
Which we should have. But hey.
I saw it on the All 22.
I saw it on the All 22.
The points were there to be had.
Okay. That's about it for the All 22. You want to move on to the Buffalo Bills preview?
Sure. Let's do it.
All right.
All right. Well, let's talk about playoffs, because that's what it's playoff season, baby. Okay, so for us, here's what we need. Atlanta to win over the Panthers. All right, sidebar real quick. Scott Smith has actually a pretty hilarious article out about 2021 playoffs. And he tells you which okay. Sorry, I just read one that was really funny. He talks about what teams we should be rooting for this weekend. And there are some games, of course, there are AFC games that have no bearing on what happens to us. But so he puts at the bottom of every little blurb like the verdict. And so on one, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars at Tennessee Titans. He says, he goes, verdict, go, throw these games into a blender and come out with an AFC smoothie of approximately 15, 7, and 8 win teams. I don't know, it just made me laugh. So anyway, and then he talked about the Detroit Lions. He's like, let's just root for them because they're bad and it has no bearing on us really. So anyway, it was pretty funny. I don't think I did it justice. Anyway, playoff picture. So we want Atlanta to win over the Panthers, Jets over the Saints. So Ralph, you're a survivor.
Hey, I'll take it.
I know. And then if that happens and we win, we clinch the division. So that's how it.
Wait, okay. So the Falcons over the Panthers.
Yes.
The Jets over the Saints.
Yes.
And we win.
Yes.
Dang. How awesome is that?
I know.
Wrap up the division in week 14.
I know. Of an 18-week season.
Yeah.
So we got a month left to play. But we'll see, fingers crossed. And so we're rooting for Atlanta over the Panthers, Jets over the Saints, and then us to win. That's all it takes to clinch the division.
That's so crazy, man. That the Buccaneers are doing this, man. We're doing it.
I know, but I'm almost kind of like, do we really need this? Like, we won it with a wild card spot last year.
Yeah.
But we will get a home field advantage for playoff games, so that's good.
That's if we have a second seed, right?
Or even third. I mean, if we
play... We'll have one game, at least.
Yeah, at least one game. So it just depends. And probably 2 games.
Yeah.
For the Bills, they really need this game. They need this game kind of more than we do because they lost to New England on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. All running.
Yeah. They threw 3 passes. New England.
Yeah. And they won. They just ran it. They ran it 23 times in the first half or something. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then they ran it, like, I want to say 33 times in a row. I was like, what in the world? And
I've never seen that.
The Bills had a pretty good run defense, but they just couldn't stop them.
Yeah. Well, I saw video from the parking lot, and that snow was just it was a blizzard. It was just insane. I don't understand how they didn't cancel it. So the Patriots are 9-4. They lead the conference, their first seed currently, and the Bills are 7-5, so they're 2 games behind the Patriots. So they need this win, and they'll play the Patriots in 3 weeks. So they have a chance. They could retake their division, depending on how they play and the Patriots play going forward. So they need this much more than we do.
Yeah, right now we're tied with Green Bay. Green Bay is 9-3. The Cardinals are 10-2, and then Dallas is 8-4. So let me see, Green Bay, they're playing Chicago, I think, and they've dominated Chicago for so long. Aaron Rodgers has. What did he say? I own you.
Yeah.
He wasn't lying.
Fans, that was messed up.
Yes, and I want to say Arizona's playing the Rams.
Yes. The Chicago Green Bay game is Sunday Night Football, 8:20, and then Monday night is the Rams Arizona. So
That's
both of those games have implications for us.
Yeah, so we need to win. We need this win, though. Not as bad as Buffalo does, because Buffalo is still fighting to stay in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the number
Yes.
1 seed.
They are 7th seed currently at 7-5.
Oh, so they're not even in the playoffs.
Yeah, they are. Remember, there are 7
Oh,
teams
the 7
going
teams,
this year.
yeah.
Yeah, so they're at the bottom of the barrel. And Indianapolis is sniffing their heels. They're 7-6, so they have one more loss than Buffalo. But Indianapolis has the head-to-head tiebreaker against Buffalo, so I don't know, should their records be tied, Indianapolis could overtake the Bills just based on the head-to-head tiebreaker.
And then Cincinnati's 7-5.
Yeah.
Cleveland 6-6. Pittsburgh 6-6. Chargers are 7-5. Denver's 6-6, and the Raiders are 6-6. So if Buffalo screws up and loses this game, they might be out of the playoffs for right now.
Exactly. So this one is a way bigger deal to them than it is to us.
Yes, and how it's going to play out is anybody's guess on this one. Right now, the odds are we have a slight edge. I think Vegas has given us 3.5 points, or given the Bills 3.5 points. Mm-hmm. It's not a big margin there, which I'm actually surprised it was that much. I figured it'd be 2.5 or something.
Yeah. It's gonna be crazy, and I'm not a fan of Josh Allen. Like, he's a bigger Jameis Winston, in my opinion. Just watching him in the AFC in the AFC playoffs last season, it was just,
quick to scramble.
Too quick to scramble, and
feels phantom pressure.
Yeah, and he just makes dumb decisions, and so I'm just not really a fan.
Yeah, their offensive line is not the best in the world. It's definitely not the best we've had this year, so we should be able to get pressure. Again, JPP worries me that his ability to contain is almost nil, and his pass rushing is pretty much nil as well. So
maybe they'll put him in coverage so he can block some bat some passes down. Their offensive line has allowed the 4th lowest sack rate this year, though. But is that because of Josh Allen
being able to scramble out and get yardage?
Maybe.
Yeah. Usually it's the exact opposite. You get the scrambling quarterbacks, they get more sacks.
Right.
But yeah, and their run game is okay, but it's not anything to write home about. Singletary, and I think they got Matt Breida out now as the 3rd down back.
Yeah, and Josh Allen is their 2nd leading rusher. He has 422 yards, and he averages 35 yards a game rushing.
Now, their tight end, Knox, he's good. And, our linebackers are not the best in coverage when it comes to those good tight ends. So we'll see how that plays out. He's the biggest threat, I think. They got Diggs.
Yes.
And, Josh Allen can chunk that ball.
Oh, yeah. He's got a huge cannon.
Yeah, they are going to throw it deep on us a lot, I would imagine. So it's going to be an interesting game as far as that is concerned. Are we going to play that soft zone? Are we going to have 2 deep safeties? Is that going to be how we're going to attack this game? I think you're going to have to just try and knock the top off of, or at least cover 3. Just try and keep them from having those big explosive plays. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're going to get some. They're going to get out about that. But I think Knox is going to be our biggest worry, especially in the red zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a weakness for our linebackers, I think, is those tight ends. Our defense, we had 17 sacks over the first 8 games, but now we have 15 over the last 4 games.
Sweet.
I know. So
we're ramping it up, man.
We're amping it up. That's right.
Yeah. I tell you what, Tryon and Cam Gill are playing really, really well.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're rested and they're young. Mm-hmm.
Well, they're both so fast. Like Cam Gill is just so fast. I mean, just incredibly fast. The way he moves. Tryon's got some great moves. I mean, he's definitely getting a lot better. Against the run, I would say Cam Gill's a little bit better. But, I think, if it was up to me, and I don't know why they're keeping JPP out there as much as they are. I don't know if it's because of contract or because of, he's just a veteran, or they're scared to ask him to sit down.
Yeah.
Because he would probably eat them alive. Mm-hmm. But I would much rather see those two, play the majority of the game than JPP. Because like I said, he is a liability at this point. Have
they been playing them more? It feels like they have. It feels like Cam Gill didn't get a whole lot of snaps in the beginning of the season, but now he's out there more and more.
Yes. Yeah, they're definitely playing them more, but not as much as I would like to see.
Not 100% of the time.
Yeah. I don't know if I want them to 100%, but 80 would be good.
Do you know who their defensive coordinator is?
No.
Leslie Frazier.
Really?
I know.
Old Minnesota Vikings coach.
And he was our defensive coordinator under Lovie Smith.
Yeah, that's right.
We blocked that out. We could also, we have our all-time record for when the Bills come to play is 7-2. We've won, which is our best win percentage against a team at home, against any opponent in the league. And if we win this and then beat the Jets, we will sweep the AFC this season, which has not happened.
Wow.
In quite a long time.
Well, it is interesting that it's Tom Brady playing his old division.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and so he's familiar enough with the team. He did play them for 2 years with Josh Allen when Josh Allen was there. Josh Allen got drafted in 2018.
Gosh, he's been there that long?
I know, 4 years. And Tom played against him 2018, 2019, came to the Bucs in 2020. So he knows his team well enough, I suppose.
The ref crew is going to be Scott Novak's crew, which is good. He's one of the better ref crews out there. We had him last year twice, week 7 at the Raiders. I gave him a grade of C, which is very good. Mm-hmm. They had 10 uncalled penalties, not too bad. And then week 16 at Detroit, again, C with 11 uncalled penalties. So not bad. They're actually one of the better ref crews we had last year, and we haven't had him this year. So we'll see. And I'm pretty sure his crew is pretty much intact. Same guys from last year.
Great. So everyone keeps saying this is a playoff caliber game. I'd like to get your input on this.
Yeah. I would concur.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the better teams I think that we've seen. We are certainly one of the better teams that they have seen. I went over their schedule last episode, but I'm going to touch on it again. They saw the Steelers in the season opener and lost, and then they won at the Dolphins, got a shutout. They won at Washington. They won at Houston, got a shutout there. Then they beat the Chiefs when the Chiefs were not doing so hot in the beginning of the season. And then they lost to the Titans. That one went into overtime. They won against the Dolphins, so they swept them this season. They lost against the Jaguars. That was that 9-6, just fluke. That was the upset week. They beat the Jets 45-17. They lost to the Colts, they beat the Saints, and then they lost to the Patriots. So their schedule has been weak, in my opinion. But you brought up last week, I think that, there's not a whole lot of teams in the league who are very good. So you're probably going to see a lot of crappy teams.
Yeah, most teams have schedules like that where the majority of the teams they play suck. So
yeah,
or don't suck, but they're not playoff caliber.
Yeah. So I think it will definitely be a showing for both teams. Like, how good are you really?
I was wrong about Scott Novak's crew, it's almost all different.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's got Ramon George from Hockley's crew last year, Derek Bowers from Martin's crew, Walt Coleman from Rogers' crew, Mike Weatherford from Martin's crew, and David Meslow from Vinovich. So there's only 2 people who are from last year's crew, and that's Scott Novak himself and Terrence Miles, the back judge.
Interesting.
So, we'll see how it plays out.
Well, they've had over half a season to get it together, so.
Yeah.
Well, and now you have a good excuse in case it turns out that he's trash.
Right. Well, I have noticed that the refereeing's gotten a little bit better.
I don't know that Steelers game
weeks.
last night. It was like one series where it just flag.
Yeah, even Troy Aikman and them were talking about it.
he was getting mad.
They were mad. And rightfully so. You get tired of flags, man.
I do.
And you want to say, hey, guys, play cleaner. But there's just so many rules now, and they're so complex that you can't, it's not that guys aren't playing clean. It's just that, it's hard not to make a mistake anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's really whether the refs catch it or not.
Yeah.
And they get the flag
and
on every
decide
play.
to call it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Which brings me to gambling. I'm not a big fan of this. I just, they're doing this thing, I think next season, Starlink. Is it called Starlink? Something of that nature.
Isn't Starlink the
Car.
Elon Musk internet?
I don't know. There's something. It's coming to the stadiums, though, to where you're going to be able to bet while you're sitting in the stadium and the game's going on. You're going to be able to bet on certain plays. You're going to be able to bet on the scores and quarters and all that. And I'm just not a fan of it.
What a money grab by the NFL.
Well, fantasy football, like you pointed out, has changed the game. And this is definitely going to change the game. The NFL has partnered with MGM and all these betting houses, sports books. FanDuel just gave Pat McAfee a crap ton of money, to be his only sponsor for the next few years. It's becoming all pervasive, and it's going to change a lot of stuff about football. The big thing I'm worried about is the players, the coaches, and the ref crews. Like I said, the refs, NFL refs have never had a scandal that we're aware of. When you throw money into the mix like this, and betting, I just don't see how it's going to be sustainable. Somebody's going to screw up eventually, and it's going to be a big scandal. So,
I agree.
Not a big fan of it.
I'm with you. Tom Brady, if he scores 2 touchdowns, his second touchdown would be his 700th, including the postseason.
Good Lord.
700 touchdowns. Crazy. And apparently, we are not the only ones who can clinch our division this weekend. Hold on. It's loading. Okay. The Cardinals could clinch the playoffs, and the Packers can clinch this weekend.
Yeah, we need both of them to lose.
I know. Yep.
Dang.
Agree. And, okay, I was just talking about the Bills' schedule. They've played 5 of their games against backup quarterbacks. 5 games against backup quarterbacks.
Dang.
So they 12 games and 5. Okay, they are 2-5 when they've faced starting quarterbacks this season, which all their losses came to starting quarterbacks.
Really?
Yeah. So those are pretty good odds, in my opinion. All right, you want to do our score prediction?
Not really.
I do. I have mine already. I
do?
thought about it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
You think it's going to be a shootout?
Yeah. They do put up some points. Like, let me read you. Like, pretty much every single one of their games, all their wins, they put up 30-plus points. So, 16 against the Steelers, which they lost. 35 against the Dolphins. 43 against Washington. 40, 38, 31. That was a loss. 26. 46. That was a fluke against the Jags. 45 against the Jets. 41 against the Colts. 31 against the Saints. And then they only put up 10 against the Patriots. But so they can score some points. But again, those are kind of crappy teams. So actually now I'm rethinking my score.
No, go with your first one, man.
All
Gut
right.
instinct.
Okay. All right. My score prediction is 34 Buccaneers, 29 Bills. I think it's going to be close. So that's within 5.
Yeah. Gosh, I tell you what, I'm torn with this one.
I mean, it could turn out like what the Colts did to them. Colts won 41-15. I'm pushing you into that just ridiculous score prediction.
Oh, let me see. Gosh, I would say your scores here is pretty close. 34-29. Ah, man, I would have to say 32-28.
Okay.
Bucs.
I like it. Yeah, so we both think it's going to be a close one. This will be the one that's a blowout, what's going to happen.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, uniform tearing does not work with football at all. And I'm this close to saying we're going to lose this, too.
Ooh.
I don't know. I have no reason to think that other than just a feeling, So
I think it works out in our favor that it's a home game.
right, yeah. If it was at Bills, I'd probably be more inclined to pick the Bills. And I don't think the Bills are better than us.
No,
by any
I don't think
stretch.
so either.
But,
I just think that they need it more than we do.
right, and we're the Super Bowl champions. They're trying to, they're up and comers. They're trying to make their mark. Blah blah blah. So this is the biggest game of the year for them right now. And to us, it's just another game. We still got plenty of games to try and get the first seed. It's not a division game, so it's it's not it's not even a primetime game. So it doesn't mean near as much to us. Yes, you are correct. But it would be nice to see Leonard Fournette run over top of all of them.
Yeah, I think he can do it.
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah. I want to see some big bombs though. I want to see some bombs. I want to see Brady throwing some monsters.
I don't know. I feel like we're not getting as much this year.
No.
Of the bombs.
No. Well, we started
Isn't that
off
weird?
this season. Well, defenses are playing to stop that.
Yeah.
I mean, they are playing that too high safety almost consistently just to try and keep us. And they're playing that soft zone like we do to just keep teams, everything in front of them and not let us get behind them. And it's working because Brady's just taking the checkdowns all the time.
I'm curious. So we always seem to have one player that kind of pops off every week.
Yeah, it was Godwin last week.
It was Godwin last week. It was Fournette the week before.
Yeah. Who's it going to be?
It could be a Mike Evans day.
Could be.
Or Gronk. I think
Perriman.
Gronk. I'm going to go with Gronk.
Well, he had a pretty good week last week, too.
Well, I know, but this is a division opponent that he didn't play this team since Josh Allen has been there.
Really?
Right? Because didn't he quit the last 2 years? Didn't he kind of retire after the 17 season?
Good question.
Or 18?
So when did you say that
Josh Allen was drafted in 2018. That's when he took over.
this is stuff we should know?
I know. I don't know why you don't know that.
No, he retired 2019.
Oh, he did?
That was it. Yeah, so he was there 2018.
Okay.
Started 11 games, played in
Okay.
13.
So, yeah, he might know this. I mean, but he knows the Bills. They're familiar with the Bills.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a good game either way. It's going to be fun, entertaining. It's got some oomph to it, some meaning.
Yeah.
And it is, a playoff game kind of, These are two teams that are most likely going to be in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun.
Yay.
All right, is that about it?
That is it. I'm done.
Done.
I need a sandwich. I'm hungry.
Go make me a sandwich too. Make me a sandwich, woman. All right. guys, that's going to wrap it up for us. We do appreciate you listening. It's an honor for us to be here talking and y'all listening. We know there's plenty of other places you could be listening, but you prefer me and Molly, so that means a lot to us. And keep your positive vibes going. We're going to need it for this Buffalo Bills game. These guys are going to come to play.
Y'all got to pull out all the stops.
All the stops.
Like wear your lucky socks and
whatever you wore last week, wear it this week.
Whatever you got to do.
Yeah. What'd you wear last week?
I don't remember.
Oh, no. You're going to lose us the game. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, keep the positive vibes going. Let's do this. But until next time.
Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.